I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. How are you doing? All right. So, as I'm recording this, I'm actually getting ready to have some of my mastermind clients come into town for a special VIP event. It was something that I did the first round into the second. I wanted to give just a special extra love present to the people who renewed from the first round into the second. So we are bringing them to Denver for some just fun, special day together. And I think for the second round, I'm going to have the VIP experience incorporated into the live event. I'm thinking about like a special dinner. I'm still plotting and planning the live event for our next round. It's going to be at the end of October, and we have just signed papers booking the space. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's going to be amazing. The hotel is so pretty. It looks so cool. The room is going to be huge. I'm just really excited for this event. Really excited for the future of Simple Scaling Mastermind. And I think by the time you're hearing this, the launch will be done. So if you missed it and have all of the FOMO, the next round will be launching in early 2022, and you want to be on the wait list to get all of the details about that. But today, we are going to talk about something that has been a major lesson for me throughout 2021. I was recently in Mexico and was there with a friend, and one of the things that we were talking about just kind of in general was something that we started to refer to as brain laziness. And I think that this is also something you could think of as delegating being the CEO. Like there's CEO duties that you have in your business, and this is when you're delegating those. And I participated in some brain laziness / delegating the CEO this year, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about what I did, the lessons learned, and I really want to encourage all of you to not do this. I had kind of made it something that was okay to do at a further along phase of my business, and I disagree with that now. So I'm going to teach you all about it from my own lessons. So here's what happened when I kicked off 2021. I hit $1 million in 12 months in my business, and I am scaling, obviously, scaling my business. I have 2 scalable offers. I am figuring out how to scale those at bigger and bigger numbers. And one of the things that came up for me this year was starting to pay for experts to solve problems for me. So I did a bunch of hiring of people outside of my company, like specialists. Like we hired a Facebook ads team. We worked with a marketing specialist, those types of things throughout this year. And I think that I had gone into some of those decisions with this expectation that just spending the money with this expert who was going to do it for me was going to just like make it guaranteed to work. Like I think earlier on in my business, I had this sense of like, I need to figure out how to do these things on my own. Like I need to do all of my own copywriting and marketing strategy and those types of things. Like I really owned all of that pretty much for the majority of my business. Coaching was my only investment until I started growing a team, and then paying my team was my only investment besides coaching. And then something about this year and hitting $1 million, I was like, oh, now it's totally cool. I'm going to hire like all of these people who are experts outside of my business, and they're going to do all of these things for me. And what I learned, long story short, you don't need all the behind the scenes details, but what I learned is that these specialists, while amazing, and while they do have value, like I don't want to say don't ever hire any experts, of course, the decision-making process that led me to hire them was wrong. So it's not that they were wrong. It was that I had made that decision. I had taken that action in my business from a thought error that just hiring them and throwing the money at it was going to just like make it work and make it be amazing, and I wouldn't really have to be involved. Like essentially, I had this idea that to sell more of Mama to CEO, I just needed other people to like put together a funnel for me and like put it out there, run it, study it, implement it. And I was like, because I have so much money to hire you experts and to throw money into ads, then like just because I have that cash flow to pay for those things, that means that I'm just going to throw that cash towards those things and it's all going to work and it's all going to get me the results that I want. And as you can probably guess from this episode so far, that isn't what happened. And I ended up realizing that I was trying to delegate things that really belonged to me. And my philosophy about investing and what we invest in for my company has changed a lot. And I've kind of been joking with my business manager that like the second half of this year is all about bringing everything in-house. I'm like, another thing that I'm actually bringing in-house, that like this is what we're going to own and this is going to be our thing now in our company instead of outsourcing. So here's my thought process behind this shift. As the CEO of your company, your brain is your most valuable asset. Like this is your secret weapon. This is your tool in your business. And as you may have figured out in your business journey so far, your brain can also be the biggest obstacle you have in your business. And this is why I think coaching, particularly business coaching, is so important, because me as the business coach, I am always looking at, okay, what are the decisions you are making and what are the beliefs and the thoughts behind that to help you from making business decisions from thoughts that are just wrong. Thought errors is how I like to think of them. I don't want you making decisions in your business from a thought error. So when you want to make decisions and you present it to me, that's what I'm looking for. So I don't have like a set of rules where it's like, this is the right way to run your business and this is the wrong way. What I actually have is a perspective about your business that isn't full of BS and drama and stories. And so I have a much cleaner, bigger perspective about where you're going, and I'm able to see the thought errors that you try to make decisions from. I was talking to a friend recently who was talking about scaling her program, and she was telling herself that she couldn't scale it past a certain number in its current format. Like she couldn't get to that number of people with the current format, so she was going to need to change the format. And then she had realized after like many months of just kind of like sitting with that, like she's somebody who really understands like thought errors might exist. So she's not taking a lot of like fast action from stories her brain is telling her, but she totally thought that that was real, sat with it for a while, and then came to this realization that it wasn't true. It wasn't actually true that she couldn't scale to that bigger number of people in the current format. She didn't actually have to change it at all. It had been her thoughts all along. So that's the kind of thought error that having a business coach is really going to help you avoid. So your brain is your most valuable asset. It is the thing that is going to create all of the money in your business. Because think about this, your brain makes all the decisions. Your brain creates all the concepts. Your brain creates all the value, the marketing, the ideas, the programs, everything that you put out into the world is created by your brain. Your brain is the most valuable asset. It's your money maker. It's how you are going to make all of your money is from your brain. But here is the problem. Your brain also really resists working. Your brain doesn't want to do all of that work. It's things like the really valuable CEO work that really makes the biggest difference, like creating and casting your vision, evaluating what you've already done and figuring out what you need to do next, strategizing and problem solving, messaging, like putting your marketing out there, deeply knowing your ideal client, being in their brain, creating offers, planning and setting goals, like setting a goal and creating a whole plan of how you think you're going to hit it. Belief work. Belief work's so important. That's problem solving those beliefs that might stand in your way. All of the thinking that happens in your business, that is your most valuable CEO work. And that's all the stuff that your brain is really going to resist. Those are all the things that your brain doesn't want to do, and it's going to want to take shortcuts. It's going to tell you that it's just easier to pay someone else, especially once you start making money. Once you start making money in your business, you're like, oh, I can delegate out my copywriting. I can delegate out my creating my offers. I can delegate out my marketing strategy and then the problem solving for it. No. When you're making money, when you're scaling, you want to delegate implementation, not the brain work. I think this is so important. And I want to just tell you, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars learning this lesson. I would love to let that not be in vain and save some of you from making that expensive mistake. I would love for all of you to learn from me these brain activities, this level of thinking. This is what you do as the CEO. And your brain is going to resist it and it's going to make it feel overwhelming and confusing, but these are things that you can do. And all of those things that I listed are things that I help my clients with. Designing your offer, writing your copy, being in your ideal client's brain, all of those things. Now, I don't want to say that you can't ever hire people to help you with this, but I want you to do it not from brain laziness. I want you to do it from knowing that you are the most important voice on these things. You are the keeper of your ideal client's brain. So even if you hire a copywriter, you are not delegating that very important work to them. And you're also not just showing up to work with them with no framework whatsoever. My clients do not do that. You better not do that. Because I give you frameworks for how to get in your ideal client's brain. I give you frameworks to describe their problems, where they are right now, where they want to be. I give you all of that. In both of my programs, I help you to really understand your client so well so that even if you are working with a copywriter, which again, that's not the problem. I love copywriters. I have some as clients. It's the thought process behind hiring them. And if you are trying to delegate the important work of your brain that you must do as CEO. Okay? So you want to be able to go to that copywriter with all of that information from your ideal client's brain. That'll be so helpful to them if you are working with one. Okay? So it's not about it was wrong to hire somebody. It's don't hire somebody from a thought error. Don't do it from wanting them to do your job, your valuable thinking. And so much of this, just like I'm doing in my business, you can bring in-house. You can do this stuff in your own business. I've brought in so much of this stuff back in-house, as I call it. And there's so much value to me in running my business that way, where it's like we create all of these things and then our team implements. Like I'm not over here creating a sales page. I am writing the copy from my expert knowledge as the CEO, from the time that I've spent developing my brain, developing my thinking, being in my ideal client's brain. I do that better than anybody else because I take the time to do it and I tell myself that I can do it. And then we have our team put it on the page. All right. So don't let your brain be lazy. It wants to be. We don't have to judge it. We can love it. Adorable little brain. You want to conserve energy. So sweet. You want to reserve that energy for when the bear is chasing me through the forest, but that probably won't happen today. I'm going to put my whole brain energy into my job as CEO. I'm going to own that. I'm not going to delegate that out because here's the deal. You don't want the money-making aspects of your business to be something that isn't from you, that isn't from your brain, and that's dependent on someone else outside of your business. You want all the capacity for money-making inside of your business, all the knowledge for money-making inside of your business. And that's what I teach you to do. All right. Hope that gave you some good food for thought. And I hope that you are now sold on being the CEO in your business and not delegating your very important brain work. All right, I will talk to you all back here next week. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com. MAMATOCEO.com.